On Thursday, January 16th, What Nuts, I think we should do a show called What Chaos, and I know, it'll be presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code What Chaos so you can get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. Hi, everybody. My name is DJ Bean. I am sitting with my dear boy, Pete Blackburn, and across the room is Sean DePaz, looking beautiful. Pete, what?
I don't know. I think I'm the worst looking guy on the set today because I'm the asshole who didn't wear any Blue Jackets gear.
Cannon
got a
boys,
Stinger sweatshirt.
Mount
we
up.
got a Cannon jersey. It's
Cannon
a real tough
boys,
scene for
mount
me.
Up.
It's a real tough scene for me that I am dressed like NPC number 3 with just my plain ass clothes, although I do have a sick dish hat on.
I found a new show called Severance. You were saying you don't know anything about, and that's very Severance coded. I love the fashion on that show. It's very drab. Yeah.
Why?
Just solid colors and green.
I love green, man.
You know, say like everybody, like all of Helly's outfits.
Yeah.
There'll be like one of the pieces will be green or like a teal or
True.
something. Everybody is just wearing like the most detail you get in something. I saw somebody had like one stripe on their shirt. They want that shit drab.
I don't think I told you this, which is wild, but did you know that I am wearing green at my wedding?
Yes.
I'm doing a green suit. I did tell you this.
That
Great.
rocks. I don't know if I knew that. That rocks.
I'm doing a green suit.
Like, is it like a green and
It's like-
black?
Yeah, green with black lapels.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Like that color green?
Probably like a little, like
A little darker.
not as like faded, obviously, but yeah, like a foresty green.
Yeah, that's hard.
Awesome. Well, today is a bit of a fashion show, if you will. So, Peter, why don't you tell the folks what's on this program?
Buddy, I would love to. We're definitely going to be talking about the Stadium Series jerseys that were released today. Stadium Tour de Force. That's a little sneak peek that I think that we like both jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all like both jerseys, which is maybe the first time that's ever happened. I can't wait to talk about these jerseys. Then, the earlier, the better. That's got to be in reference to last night's slate, which started at 6 p.m. for absolutely no reason.
Your Buffalo Sabres.
But, oh my goodness, what a night of hockey on a 2-game slate. Can't wait to talk about that. It also included the best goal of the season, in my opinion.
And the best hat trick of all time. in my opinion.
Yes.
A historic hat trick, even. Emphasis on the 8, which that was also in there last night. I'm assuming that's just run back because the slate eats again tonight.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
No?
Sean, do you know what it means?
No, I don't. No.
You were close saying we're running it back from yesterday. Just saying that was a good slate last night. And really, the earlier the better was more specific to the Buffalo Sabres. But just overall, great slate. Lot to talk about. Lot of discourse. There was even some hit chat.
I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
you can't have 2 bullet points on the same topic.
Are you new here? Cookie dough, cookie money, the issues, the whatever. I am famous in North America for just using the same things over and over again.
All right.
You give me too much credit.
Finally, Snorin' Kyle. Snorin' Kyle. That's got to be Kyle Dubas, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Dubas. Sleeping on the job? Actually, he's not sleeping on it. They might be in a better spot if he did sleep on the job when he arrived there.
Yeah.
What is the snoring? What is that?
I wanted it to be some sort of play on Kyle, and I
So
was
it's
like,
just like a Trump nickname.
no. Like it like sounds like Lauren Kyle.
Oh,
That's at least like
I don't
that
know.
was the best I could think of.
I don't know what that
that's
is.
a real reach.
What's like the best Kyle joke or pun you could make?
What's Lauren Kyle?
You don't know Lauren Kyle? Well, it's not Lauren Kyle anymore. It's Lauren McDavid.
Yeah.
Oh,
You have a lot to learn about culture,
Yeah.
Sean.
The first lady of
This is
hockey.
The first lady of Canada.
Yeah.
I just know her as Mrs. McDavid now.
That's right.
Lauren McDavid. She's got a name.
You know Connor McDavid is Lauren Kyle's husband.
True.
Yes.
I know him as as Lenny's dad, Lenny's parents.
Good Lenny talk yesterday after the game. We can maybe get into that for a second. But we said at the end of the yesterday's show, tomorrow will be a good one because there's going to be news. This was the news we were talking about. Stadium Series jerseys out. And we've been hyping this for a while. We've been hoping that it would be certain things. And they are here. Sean, just throw anything on the screen that you would like to throw on the screen. We can get into the breakdown later, but if you want to just give us a glimpse of either the Red Wings or the Blue Jackets.
No preference on where we start?
Start with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah. So I was very, very nervous about this jersey reveal, and I didn't want to be like super upfront about it because I love both teams, but I've been open about I don't love the Blue Jackets branding. I've never really truly loved a Blue Jackets jersey, and when the Red Wings do specialty jerseys, they don't fucking try. They don't try because they hate messing with their jerseys, and I don't blame them. Why mess with perfection? But goddamn, if I don't love both of these jerseys for their own separate reasons. Let's start with the Blue Jackets one. The cannon being massive. Obviously, you guys have to love that.
Cannon
I love it.
boys mount up. This
I
was
mean,
Happy birthday, Sean, indeed.
I have been
It's like they listened and they took they were like, okay, one of these guys wants the cannon and the other one wants it huge cannon, and they delivered.
Yeah, this is everything. I mean, I'll just get like the solitary complaint out of the way. I was desperate for some electric green, for some stinger green in there. So that's the one thing that I think they missed out on. Not the jersey still rocks though, and my biggest thing is that I love there's a good chance that outside of the Sabres, the jersey that I'm wearing right now, the actual Blue Jackets cannon jersey is my favorite hockey jersey of all time. So them leading into the cannon is.
I could not be more on board, but with the take that like a little electric green trim on this would make it kind of elevate a little bit more.
Dude.
Like right under that red stripe, that electric green accent would be amazing. My theory on why the electric green was not included is maybe that it would make it look too much like a University of Michigan jersey when you're doing the navy
I said that the
blue.
other day. Yeah.
Really?
I wanted it to just be like blue and green. If you're at Ohio Stadium and you're just doing blue and a yellowy color.
Yeah, for sure. I think the
especially
presence
when
of
you're playing the Red Wings who are going red and white, which is close to Ohio State.
Yes.
It would look like kind of a jersey swap of the two teams.
I think the presence of the red on these jerseys allows them to incorporate some electric green and still get away with it. Again, not that mad about it.
My main fear, and this popped up in the last few days because none of us had really thought about it. We were like, what if they lean into Ohio State? Do not want that. You're playing the Red Wings. Let them do red. And I didn't need it to be super cannon based. Obviously, Sean drove the bus on that drove the cannon
based
and did a great job. I wanted it to be more stinger based, but I wanted it to be big stuff. I wanted it to be blue as heck, blue and white with a little electric green accent. This checks a lot of those boxes, even though that electric green isn't there. This is mainly blue and silver. That shit shimmer.
the silver rocks.
Silver rocks.
I
Oh
gotta
my
ask.
gosh.
I gotta ask, seen some people say it. You think the cannon looks like a penis?
No.
If it does, who cares?
Get your head out of the gutter.
Even
I've
better.
seen every cock on the
That
planet.
genuinely
Hockey is for everyone.
did not cross my mind at any point. If trying to decide how tactful I want to be about how I say it. If yours looks like that, you need to see a doctor. All I'll say is the hole at the end is far too big for that to.
It's not supposed to look like that.
You're not supposed to shove stuff in there. Stop doing that.
That looks. I'd never seen that like overhead kind of shot of it.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Oh, brother, these under
The
the
way the
stadium
sleeves-
lights are
yes.
gonna. Oh,
So we're gonna get to after we go through both of these teams, which jersey and which player jersey is the most desirable. But that thing is going to work so well at the game. That's going to work year round. That's gonna be a great jersey to rock every winter. It's a little holiday-y. It's got a little bit of the shimmer. It's got a little bit of the lights. You got the blue for the Hanukkah. You got the red for Christmas. This thing's got utility, baby.
I feel like this has a really weird but palatable mix between looking sort of like a throwback, but also being very modern and like kind of cutting edge. And I don't know if it's like the modern element is the design in the silver, and like the logo reminds me of like a retro logo. But I love it all. I do. I think they did an awesome job with
think that regardless of what team you are, if you're making a jersey for an event like this where people are going to be watching it from far away and watching it on TV, you want to be true to your colors. You want to do things big, and you want to have a little flair. This hits all of those amazing. And I initially really thought I would have a hard time getting over no stinger incorporation. But now you got a lot of people saying like, hey, it's not very stingery. It is boomery, which is their other mascot, who isn't as cool as Stinger, but still, I love it. Sean, do we want to throw up we have these the breakdowns and everything? I've got one that I want to walk through some of the finer points.
Do you want
of this?
Yours?
The real one, please.
Okay, well now
the real one is mine. Okay. So huge numbers, always great. The shimmer on the sleeve, I love. It's very new LA Kings jersey. It's obviously very Vegas Golden Knights. The letters on the jersey, the A or the C, you see Zach Werenski up there, has the outline of Ohio. I did not know what the outline of Ohio is. That's helpful. Makes you smarter.
I thought you meant that the A in the letters were helpful to identify which players are important. But I think both could work. And I do love a custom captain's patch. Like when the Wild did it for their outdoor game with the outline of Minnesota, I thought it was the best part of that jersey. I thought they were unbelievable. They did a really good job here. I only wish that maybe it wasn't just the outline of Ohio. I think that maybe I would have liked it more.
They could
with a full red patch.
That would be very Minnesota Wild coded, though, wouldn't it?
It would. I think they'd face accusations.
Okay, and there's no accusations here. Again, like I said, like they're just doing their thing the best they can do it.
The sad thing is that we're not going to get a C in. We're not like the C jersey's not going to exist.
Because Boone Jenner?
Yeah. And that'd be so perfect for Columbus, the C in the Ohio, and they're not going to get it.
I'm sure Boone Jenner will get a jersey.
That's true.
The massive cannon, amazing. Doesn't have a crest. I'll say, when you're doing it that big, I don't want a crest. I would not want that to have a circle behind it or an outline of something behind it, just because that would take away from how big you can actually make the cannon. They made this cannon take over the jersey in the best way possible.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of my favorite parts about the outdoor jerseys is that by virtue of it being in a football/baseball stadium, they have to make things big so you can see them. And a lot of times that can be a little weird, but I think it works very well here.
And then the last thing I want to note, Sean, if you could move us out of the way. I guess it still, what I sent somehow got cropped. Anyway, they're not doing the red pants like they usually do. With their white jerseys, they have red pants. With their blue jerseys, they have red pants. Here, they're doing a black color rush type of thing, but they do have the star in there to keep with what you normally have on their jerseys. This is very, very thoughtful. They have kind of thought of everything for this. I think it's such a win.
Yep. I mean, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I think it is better than I expected. I'm very impressed, and I'm very excited to have my hands on one of them.
I love them wholeheartedly. I think they're like a 9.5 out of 10.
Do you like them more than the current Cannon jersey that you're wearing, the faux back?
No, I don't think so. I just love the cream on these jerseys. That one's tough. As I mentioned though, like on these jerseys, if the gray on these jerseys with the silver that they had on the Stadium Series jerseys, I think that's like the one change I would make. This all did make me think though. We are hopefully going to get the Cannon outside in a place that it's supposed to be.
Very Raymond James coded.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. I think you got to make the actual cannon bigger. I think if you have a cannon inside a small arena and you're moving the game to a bigger stadium, a much bigger stadium, I think you got to keep the proportions the same. You got to have a giant cannon.
I mean, that cannon would literally be like a full blown, like, I don't know if they could legally have that. It's like only the U.S. military has weapons that size.
You got to contract one.
It would be like a legitimate like anti-aircraft missile.
Got to do it. Don't care.
Make it happen. We got to solve crime.
No fly zone over Columbus.
If you have a big ass cannon out there, there's no crime happening at this NHL event. If you could throw that back up, Sean, for one last thing. We have to note that Kirill Marchenko is just the most wonderful man in the world. So he's handsome. And that's the last little detail on that. There isn't one thing on this. Like my preference obviously was to do a Stinger jersey. But there isn't a detail of this jersey that I look at and say, I wish that there could be less of that or take that away. So while I don't ultimately give this, I said 10 out of 10 earlier as an expression, while I probably give it like a flat 9.0, that's well earned.
I do love that CBJ shoulder patch. That looks great.
That is a very good shoulder patch. I wish they did something a little more interesting with their helmets. You can't really see it all that well here, but they just put a number on the side, which when we talk about the Detroit one, Detroit got a little crazy with their helmet.
Okay, let's get to Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit's jersey is a lot simpler, so they needed something to really spice it up. I don't think that doing a helmet for Columbus would have served them well because the attention should be on the jersey. And for Detroit, they went super simple, which you knew that they probably were going to. I got to say, for the Red Wings, I think this is the most that I could like a Red Wings jersey or uniform as a whole without the logo being prominently displayed. Because we all know they have the best logo in all of hockey. If you're not slapping that on there front and center, you got to really do something and basically everything well to make up for it. I love this look top to bottom.
So do you like this better than the like throwback to the Detroit Cougars where It was just a D?
Yeah.
I think that this is so much better than that.
So much better.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree with Pete. This is for sure the best non-Red Wings logo Red Wings jersey we've seen.
My only complaint is not really Detroit specific. I just hate when alternate jerseys have the main normal logo as a shoulder patch because it makes it look incredibly AHL to me.
Let's get back. Okay, let's stick with that and go to my breakdown of these Red Wings jerseys because I think, that's the fake breakdown. That's
They can't see it anyways.
That's okay. There we go. All right. I think that it's the greatest shoulder patch ever. To be able to put the Red Wings logo on your shoulder is such an unbelievable flex. Most notably here, they did the Michigan.
Yeah, it's a flex if you play in the American Hockey League because that's a great accomplishment.
I would flex if I played in the American Hockey League. Biggest thing is they did the Michigan with the helmet where they did the stripes and shit. It's obviously not it's not a Michigan helmet, but this is clearly inspired by a Michigan helmet.
Yeah, and I was worried that their helmets would basically just be the Michigan football helmet with the Wolverine type design. I'm glad they didn't do that. I saw a lot of people saying they didn't like the massive wings on the side of the helmet. Shut the fuck up.
Love it.
My only complaint is that the wing it just stops very suddenly here. I want the rest of the wing to wrap.
Oh no, but it means that the eye of the wing is their actual eye.
But then why do they have more than just the wing? It clearly starts the wheel, but they just chop it off right here above the eyebrow. It should the rest of the wheel here should continue.
No, I think
or you move it down a little bit so the wing it should just be the wing. It shouldn't be showing any part of this wheel.
I love this helmet. I'm very
generally
love it, and I can be a little bit of a helmet policeman with when teams mix up their helmets. Really, I just don't like the all shiny. I like when they do matte stuff, but I think that some of the creativity with helmets can lead teams down a bad road. I think that the Red Wings did a great job here. An interesting thing for me is the nameplate, because this jersey and uniform to me ultimately feels like a bit of a collage in which it has things that are kind of inconsistent with one another, and it somehow looks good to me. That's a good shot, Sean, thank you, of Lucas Raymond, where they do the Flyers two-toned jersey nameplate. I feel like that is not what the front of this jersey would call for.
Yeah.
But it looks like they just kind of threw together a bunch of different parts and they just look cool as hell. Almost like the Red Wings font.
Yeah, that is true. Where the Red Wings font uses like 3 typefaces. I would agree with that assessment where it kind of looks like a serial killer note where they cut out the magazine letters.
Right.
But somehow it works. And I've seen people say that they don't like the stripe down the middle of the helmet. They like the wings, not the stripe. I like the stripe. Like it's like a racing stripe. It kind of reminds me of like a nod to the Motor City. It also reminds me a little bit more of like a college football helmet, which I like, and I do like the contrasting nameplate. I sort of get what Sean's saying though with the shoulder patch. It does remind me of like either an AHL
It's a very
jersey where like they slap the logo on for the affiliate, or like an all-star jersey where it's just noting what team a player is representing. I think I'd like it more if they either didn't do the Red Wings logo or if they did it on both shoulders and not the Stadium Series patch.
Or on the pants or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably
I do
go
like
with
Hockey Town being on the pants.
That's my favorite detail of the whole thing.
Hockey Town on the pants is great. And it feeds to the collage thing because does that look like it goes with the scripture of Detroit there?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, no way.
That's like textbook design. Is you get like a fancy font and then you have a very simple sans serif font that goes with it. Like those fonts definitely go together, I think.
Okay, so I was more thinking, and that's a good point. I was more thinking that I could see that on something in the 60s or like the 50s, the script.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And I don't think it would be accompanied by, or I don't think it would be paired with the more sans serif thing. But again, these are all things, even if it strikes me as like more collage-y, it's a collage that looks good.
Yeah.
And the last note, car shit, it says there. Hopefully people can see and zoom or whatever.
I sent you a photo that has it more clearly outlined, I believe.
But on the lettering of the numbers, really just the numbers, I suppose, it is, and actually on the Detroit, it's got like the kind of car upholstery thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that the stitching, it looks like Braille, quite frankly. And it is such a nice touch. It's basically their version of how the Chicago Blackhawks did the like pinstripes on their numbers.
That's like the jersey nerd stuff where when you see it up close, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the pinstripe numbers on the Winter Classic jerseys were incredible. And these, I love what they did with the upholstery thing. Sean, I'm going to send you a picture just so you can throw it up because it is a very fantastic detail. And I know that we are overly critical of when teams have these like explainers that really don't make sense and they're reaching. It doesn't feel like they're reaching on any of these sort of jersey explainers.
No. I think that both of these jerseys rate really highly. And when these teams meet and play in these jerseys, oh boy, it's not going to be like the Winter Classic where it's good team with bad jersey versus terrible team with great jersey. This is going to be interesting team with awesome jersey versus interesting team with awesome jersey. Oh my gosh, Sean.
Oh, brother, that looks great.
Isn't that, like, seriously, that Braille, though, it looks so good. And you even see
technically speaking, not Braille because it's embossed or I don't know. I don't know how to use those.
Would Braille be
Braille
embossed?
is raised.
Yeah, so that's raised.
These are indents. These are holes.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And chat raises a good point, too, about the nameplate thing on the back. The Red Wings don't
Never
use actual nameplates.
Yeah.
Which maybe, I don't know, like here's the theory. Maybe it's a nod to like, oh, we're taking the nameplate from the actual jersey that you've earned and we're going to stitch it onto the back. Like maybe that's the reason behind it. I am not really sure.
The interesting thing about it is I think it confines the nameplate a lot, and it's going to make it a lot harder to read.
Yes, that was
from
a
a
concern
distance
for me. Yeah, Sean, if you could come to me. Yeah, this goes just right on here. I didn't even notice that, but it makes all the sense in the world because they're so solid about all their stuff.
Well, did you know like during preseason, the Red Wings players do not get like the real font that goes on the jerseys. Like they don't get the stitched names. They get basically a fake nameplate, and you have to earn your regular season jersey.
That is so forced. I like when you have an actual thing to like when there's certain teams that have like pinstripes or like they don't put the logo on the helmet or whatever, but like going out of your way to make a fake nameplate so somebody can't have, like, just don't put the name on it at all and then make them earn the nameplate.
Let's get to the best detail either of these jerseys had. Sean, if you would do me the honor, please. That octopus, though. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
yes.
This is my first reaction to this was fuck yeah. My second reaction to this is why don't Columbus have a stinger version of this?
Yeah, 100%.
But this is like one of the best little Easter eggs on a jersey I've ever seen.
My third reaction to it was, why don't they make the whole thing the octopus?
You're alone in that one, brother.
No, an octopus jersey would go. It would be ridiculous. I think that
it'd be ridiculous because it'd be purple.
I do like that the Red Wings are kind of like, listen, we've heard your feedback. We're gonna lean into the octopus a little bit, in a little tasteful
yes,
way.
We're gonna give you crumbs.
Yeah, we're gonna be tasteful about it, but we hear you. We know you want octopus. Here you go.
They just need to put that motherfucker back up in the rafters.
Pass that puss, baby.
Oh, so good. Okay, that is the breakdown of the jerseys. But Pete, you've been on this. This game is just, everything bodes so well for this to be an awesome matchup. The Red Wings right now are storming their way towards a wild card spot potentially. The Blue Jackets are on pace to have a wild card spot. They're the hottest team in hockey. Both teams with new coaches, feeling new stuff. Obviously, the Blue Jackets have been through a lot. The Red Wings are finally in a step of the Yzer plan they can feel good about. If a Blue Jackets Red Wings game was on TV, I'm watching that anyway. If it's being played at Ohio Stadium and they're dressing to the freaking nines, I'm there.
Yeah, I this might be the most excited that I've been for a stadium series in a while. And I've been to the last couple, and they've both been fun, both been a party. But like, good teams, fun teams. Red Wings, respectfully, have been fun recently. I hope that carries through to March. But two fun teams fighting for points, a great locale, two great fan bases, a historic stadium. Columbus is going to be like, the Columbus atmosphere is going to be electric, especially if Ohio State is fresh off a national title, which they very well could be. This thing has so much juice to it. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. What are our temptations with which uniforms we get? Because I legitimately want at least one of each team.
Yeah.
We were talking before the show. I think I'm going to save my Zach Werenski for Team USA. Marchenko, before the season started, we were like, we're going to do stadium series stuff. I was like, I hope I can get Marchenko or maybe Monahan. Since then, they've signed JVR. Like a JVR stadium series gigantic jersey would be incredible. A Mo Sider Red Wings jersey. Who do you want?
Top three for Blue Jackets. Werenski first. I'll be kind of like upset if I don't get a Werenski, unless I get a Kirill Marchenko. That is a 1A, 1B situation.
Let's just both get Marchenko. Who fucking cares,
I know.
man?
And then Monahan would be my third option. Would not be upset about any of those three, but man, I'm really torn on which one I want. Werenski's killing it, but I love Marchenko as well. Red Wings, I think I got to get a DeBrincat jersey.
Yeah, there should be a DeBrincat jersey, and it should be owned by you.
Yeah,
I think. Sean?
I mean, obviously, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Cannon Boys, mount up. I would, if I'm choosing between one of the two, I'm getting a Columbus jersey. Player-wise, I also would like Werenski, but there's a not small part of me that thinks it would be awesome / hilarious to have an Elvis Merzlikins jersey. So is that if I were getting a Red Wings jersey, it would almost certainly be Patty Kane, with a small chance of Mo Sider because of my love of German hockey.
Damn, I didn't even think about Patrick Kane, and that would look
the 8-8
really, really good.
Man, that would be very nice.
Larks with the C. extra car shit on there.
Was there anything interesting about the
C?
the Detroit
No.
C?
It just had the car shit going on.
Oh yeah, okay.
That is a beautiful jersey. Yeah, well done to everybody involved.
Yeah,
Let's have a good,
absolutely
clean
great.
game.
Not to mention, too, this is Fanatic's first time actually making a jersey, is it not? Outside of the Four Nations? Like, this is the first, like, design under...
What about Winter Classic?
I guess, yeah, that's true. I mean, either way, they've done a pretty good job.
I would
in
say
everything that
they're
they've done.
like 3.5 for 4.
Yeah.
You just take the back of the Blues jerseys.
Blues jerseys, though, I put more on the Blues than I do on the designers. Because I feel like the Blues wanted
To get away from the note.
get away from the
that's
note.
probably fair.
I mean, I can't wait for these things to arrive. We need them in our hands, much like I need HelloFresh in my belly, because there are a lot of food delivery subscription services that, quite frankly, can be a little distasteful. It doesn't taste good, and also, let's not kid ourselves, they're not exactly wholesome. But it says wholesome somewhere in this copy. It's easy to find time to eat well with 50 wholesome, hassle-free meals to choose from each week delivered to your door with HelloFresh, where you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You could skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Another reason why it's America's #1 meal kit, it's not going to swear at you. It's not going to say, like, hey, what do you call a woman who does blank? And you're like, don't tell me the rest of this joke. I'm not going to enjoy the joke. They're not going to do that sort of stuff to you. They're not talking during movies. They're not high-fiving their friends, throwing popcorn up in the air. They are giving you wholesome ingredients.
You want to know something that happened to me this morning at the gym?
Someone came up to you and said, what do you call a woman who...
And I said, I'll hear this out. No, a man next to me just ripped ass in the locker room. Like, ripped ass, did not acknowledge, say sorry, was directly next to me and was, by the way, ass naked. Ripped ass, and it smelled horrific. And didn't apologize when it smelled either. And I was willing to let it go if it didn't smell. That is not wholesome. HelloFresh would never.
I think it sounds to me like this guy needs to save valuable time with fewer trips to the grocery
Sounds
store.
to me like this guy needs to get his ass beat. That's
Well, he needs to get his ass
unacceptable.
beat, but I think that he also needs like clean, wholesome ingredients. Maybe how's his gut health? Did you talk? to him?
No, but it didn't seem good.
That's horrible behavior.
Horrible.
Unacceptable. That's
completely. And like, it was an old man, which like,
okay. Slightly
They
more
can-
acceptable, but
no,
the older you get, the more acceptable it becomes for sure.
I guess, but like, he didn't poop him. Like, I would have been more acceptable if he pooped himself. Because then I could be like, oh,
I feel like if you poop yourself, no one can really like dog you. No one wants to poop themselves.
right. I would feel bad.
Yeah, no one's been like, you pooped yourself? You asshole?
Mm-hmm.
You actually did? You pooped yourself? They didn't want to do that.
You go from perp to victim if you actually poop yourself.
Don't fart in front of people.
No,
Just don't do it. It's not.
and if you do, apologize.
Don't fart. Don't tell fart jokes. Don't tell poop jokes. Don't say, what do you call a woman who whatever. Like any of that stuff. It's just not the good things that we want out of life. I want wholesome ingredients. So that's why I go to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Their new ready-made meals go from the fridge to your fork in just 3 minutes. Don't believe me? Try me. You really wouldn't believe that? Fucking unbelievable.
Not
It's
very
this-
wholesome of
it's-
you. You swore and threatened to fight people.
Just like it's going from the fridge to my fork in 3 minutes. I don't know what else I need to say. I'll say this. It's the same high quality ingredients and restaurant worthy flavor you expect from HelloFresh, just with none of the work. So, to summarize, there is not a lot of swearing. There is not a lot of raunchy jokes. There's not a lot of politicizing your food. There is not a lot of work. Sign me up. Sign yourself up and get 10 free meals with a free high protein item for life at HelloFresh.com/chaos10FM. One item per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/chaos10FM. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Skip the work.
It's about as tasteful of an ad read about food that you could have. With
You
story
jump right
about...
into farting. And
Jesse in the chat says, "Get ready to learn make goods, buddy."
No. If so, respectfully, it would be my fault.
No, I mean, respectfully, if you ask for a make good on that, bad business.
Yeah.
Because that is the most memorable ad read of the year. I know it's early, but it's going to be tough to follow up with this Bauer read. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know how much we love Bauer. They are some of our best friends. We love everybody over there. We love their products, whether it's their apparel. I wear their stuff to the gym when I don't fart in the locker room. I love their hockey stuff. DJ's a Bauer skate guy.
Yes.
We're sponsored Bauer athletes. And if you want to be too, I guess you wouldn't be sponsored. But if you want to be a Bauer athlete, go to Bauer.com because their sale page right now offers a wide range of discounted products, including skates, sticks, protective gear, and apparel that caters to players of all levels. And you can find significant savings on premium hockey equipment known for its quality, durability, and performance. It's trusted by a ton of the top pros, so why don't you trust them as well? And the page highlights seasonal deal and clearance items, creating an opportunity to purchase trusted gear at a reduced price. So go to Bauer.com and hit that sale tab right at the top of the page, and you'll find some awesome key sales, including 30% off Nexus Sync and Easton S17 sticks, 40% off select skates, 25% off select helmets, and up to 50% off select apparel styles and collabs. Unbelievable deals. And for our listeners, you can use code FREESHIPWC for free shipping on those products. So absolutely go to Bauer.com and check it out. They are our best friends.
Okay. There was a small slate last night, but it had high potential, and boy, did it deliver in the form of a 6 p.m. victory for the Buffalo Sabres, in which they jumped out to a 3-goal lead.
Well,
summarily.
Let me just say, we called it yesterday.
I was fucking spot on there.
6:09 p.m. first shot of the game, the Buffalo Sabres scored.
They were always going to show up before anybody else showed up.
Sabres in the shadows, baby. When nobody's watching, they're a good team.
They start early. They're the first ones in, first ones out.
What did you have? What did you you texted somebody that called them the Secret Sabres?
Daniel from
Yes.
Daniel Amagon said hashtag Secret Sabres.
Yes, I like that one a lot.
I like that. They show up before anybody is there, and they leave when the game is still going on. That is what they do.
They did not. I mean, they played a solid 60 minutes, but they scored their goals early.
I mean, here's the thing. Maybe they moved that game up to 6 p.m. because knowing the Buffalo Sabres, they get a little sleepy towards the end of games, and they blow games towards the end.
To be fair, I guess a slight foreshadowing, the one goal they scored late in that game, they didn't even fucking score. So they really didn't show up all that much late in the game.
Let's get to that. The most fascinating play that has happened this season, with a holding on to a 3-2 lead, the Sabres, let me rephrase, holding on to a 3-2 lead, Tage Thompson throws it on the empty net in the final minutes, seconds of the game, hits the post. Mm-hmm. Ryan McLeod racing to get the rebound.
Famously, he's fast.
And he's a fast guy.
Has 2 goals at this point.
Kind of his thing. We're getting ahead. Yes, I was going to reveal that in a list of why this was incredible.
Yeah, no, I think that's important to note here. He had 2 goals, has never had a hat trick before.
Racing towards the rebound, has his stick snapped by Brent Burns, who somehow has caught Ryan McLeod. Not good for the Ryan McLeod is fast club. A goal is awarded. Normally, a penalty shot would be awarded here, but as it was a clean scoring opportunity, a goal was awarded. Here are the ramifications and the fallout of all this. Yes, Sean, it gave Ryan McLeod a hat trick. There were 4 scoring changes on this goal because it was given to Ryan McLeod. then changed to Tage Thompson, then changed back to Ryan McLeod, then changed back to Tage Thompson, and then finally, like 5 minutes ago, maybe, was given back to Ryan McLeod. So it took forever to see who even scored this goal, even though the hats were raining down on the ice. And the best part of this, I think, is that the Buffalo Sabres became the third team in recorded history to score a goal in a period in which they did not register a shot on goal. Unbelievable.
Absolutely
what high theater.
Also,
Truly magical. And that could only happen to the Buffalo Sabres.
yes,
right?
and I feel like not really important to the story, but an interesting point. About a minute or so before that, in a 1-goal game, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen tried to score a full ice goal.
Yes.
Fucking insanity. While there was all 10 players were in the neutral zone, basically.
It got knocked down like right past the blue line.
Yeah, it was fucking insane behavior, but it
Gotta respect it.
exactly. Try to score.
Gotta respect it. And the fact that this was even changed to Tage's goal at all, at any point, makes zero sense. Because the reason the goal was awarded is because a penalty was committed on Ryan McLeod with an empty net, which means the player that gets penalized, like the player who is the penalty is committed on, gets that goal.
Yeah.
Since when do you give it to the guy who last touched the puck?
It was preseason for everybody. You got to remember, this was an earlier point of the day and people's awake cycle than it normally would be if this were a 7 p.m. game.
We did get a ref hurt at one point during that game.
Yeah.
I thought it looked like it might be a little more serious than it ended up being.
You throwing accusations of maybe concussion, bad.
No, I mean, it was a leg
after that?
injury, so it would be hard to make that connection. It just maybe it's a little distracted, maybe
How
not
does-
in right position.
How does Ryan McLeod get caught by Brent Burns? Does he not want it enough?
He had expended a lot of energy. He had 2 goals at that point.
McDavid
It was a
yelled,
busy day.
dig in. And then that offseason, the Oilers traded Ryan McLeod. I'm doing some math here. And then he gets caught by Brent Burns when he could have a hat trick, when he could seal a game. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm a Ryan McLeod guy. I'm a Ryan McLeod is fast guy. But the funniest part of this, or like one of 400 funny parts of this, is that it all happened because Ryan McLeod got caught by Brent Burns.
It was ideal in every way because like it would have sucked a little bit if they had called it Tages in the moment and you didn't get like the hat trick celebration, but you still got that. And then you got all the antics. The Sabres still won the game. Like ultimately McLeod got the goal despite getting caught by Brent Burns, which is a funny part of the story. Like it was chef's kiss.
I tweeted this last night and I truly meant it. If they had kind of stuck to giving it to Tage absolutely should have raised the stink about it and demanded that they give it to McLeod. Because number one, he absolutely did not deserve that goal. Should not work that way. And for a team that has, I don't like lack of leadership, I would say, to do that for a guy to get him his first career hat trick and make a stink about it, I think it would have mattered. And then shortly after I sent out that tweet, they gave it back to McLeod.
I guarantee he would have done that anyway, though. Players do that all the time. They'll say like, hey, no, I didn't get a piece of that was his. Or
yeah, I mean, that one is a little...
But nobody's alleging that he got a piece of it. Like, it just didn't make any sense that they awarded it to him in the first place.
I think, though, that if he said like, hey, I don't want this to be my goal, if there was some reason they ruled that it was his goal, which it just didn't make sense, then him saying, no, please change it, wouldn't really get them anywhere. I still don't understand what the logic could have been, though, in them thinking it was Tage Thompson's goal.
I mean, I'm guessing the thought process there is that the penalty was committed before Ryan McLeod touched the puck. So in that case...
But again, it's committed on McLeod, so
yeah,
he
but
would have
like,
gotten the penalty
I'm
shot.
guessing the thought process there is like a goal that is not scored by a team, the goal is credited to the last player to touch the puck. I'm guessing that's the thought process. Even though obviously,
missing the most fun part of this conversation, though, which is if a goalie were in net, a penalty shot would have been rewarded. I demand, if this ever happens again, reward a penalty shot with an empty net. Could you have imagined Ryan McLeod zooming around on an empty net, just show like, and change the rules so we can go backwards and stuff? If he was just like, hey guys, let's do it, and just skating around super fast, doing tricks, faking out an empty net, does another lap, does like pumping up the crowd, then fucking blasts it into an empty net to end the game.
Would be fun.
Rockstar.
Would be fun in reality. Like, yeah, that would. In reality, Lindy Ruff has to healthy scratch him for a week if you do some dumb shit like that.
That would be.
No, I am 100% on board with this idea, but mainly because it leads to a great outcome no matter what, and there is like drama and theater to it. Imagine a guy missing.
Brad Marchand.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, if you fuck up the empty net penalty shot,
healthy scratch
it is
for
a
a week
moment
at
that
least.
lives in infamy forever, and that's incredible. And like the idea of like a Ridley Gregg hammering a slapper into an empty net to seal a hat trick on an empty net penalty shot. The content possibilities of this, in any case, absolutely lead me to believe they should get rid of the awarded goal on an empty net penalty shot.
No, this has high potential. Imagine this, okay? An empty net penalty shot is rewarded to Ryan McLeod. He's getting ready. I'm going to show him. I'm going to be so fast. He's about to go. What does Rod do? Ices him. Timeout. Calls a timeout before an empty net penalty shot. And you just got to stand out there thinking about, oh, pressure's on. Better not fuck this up. Skating up to get the puck, no matter who you are, has to be 50% scarier than it was before. Now you're thinking about it. You get in their head. This is what we need in hockey. This is how we fix the game, Gary.
I think you got to take a slow stroll past the Carolina bench. It's not like you got really anything to worry about. So you just pick up the puck, take a nice little stroll, take a look at everybody, be like, yeah, go fuck yourself. You just lost to the Buffalo Sabres, the worst team in hockey, and then score an empty net goal.
Also, how funny would it be if like Kuznetsov was still in the league and he did his slow ass, I'm going to take my sweet ass time.
Yeah, you got
30 seconds leading up to my empty net penalty shot.
You got to take as long as possible there.
Yeah.
I think like you got to be a little bit of an asshole about it if they're going to put you in this situation.
Here's a question. How do you celebrate that empty net goal? Because violently. I'd zoom around. I do like, hey, like pumping up the crowd, singing people's, like talking to the audience, taking selfies with people against the glass, blast it into the net, and then overtime Stanley Cup celebration, gloves in the air because I'm the only one on the ice. See if anybody comes. They can't get off the bench. The game's still going on. Well, fantastic.
I mean, this also opens up the possibility of other teams being pissed off by your antics in an empty net penalty shot late in the game.
Yeah, well, because there's still time on the clock,
right?
So that
you got an ensuing face-off.
You have to do whatever it takes to have like gloves off at the face-off line brawl. Like you got to piss off as many people as possible.
I don't know if I've ever felt so strongly about a needed rule change than getting rid of the awarded goal.
And how much time is left in the game at this point? It's like under a minute, right? So what you do is you celebrate big, you throw your gloves into the crowd and walk off the ice. But just go down the tunnel because you're getting penalized for that shit. Just doing the like, I know they got me. I know what the fuck I did. Do a big celebration and then just leave the game. Sign an autographed Matvei Michkov style.
God.
Oh, Ryan McLeod, you could have been so much cooler. We're so sorry the league did this to you, King.
A Matthew Tkachuk empty net
Let's go,
net
guys.
Goal, just
like,
straight out of the Zamboni entrance.
And they're like, no, we have to finish the game.
Yeah.
Who's
so
people?
Then you do like the old before they changed the rules in the NFL where like you didn't have to take an extra point if time was expired. Like there are situations where that would like a team would lose, but they would still score as time expired. So then they had to like bring 11 random guys back onto the field to take the extra point. Just got to bring 5 random guys out. As Brandon pointed out, reality is that none of this would ever happen. It would just be guys casually skating up to the net and then just.
I don't know. It depends how the game goes. Like if you got a real heated game, like if those teams were going at each other's throats. And you had an empty net penalty shot to truly seal it, you might get a little spunk in there.
I think you might see some like hard slappers. Yeah. I don't think you're seeing guys do anything that could risk them missing the goal. My fix to this would be make the goalie do it. Like if the net's going to be empty, give the goalie a chance to get his goal. Make it a full ice empty net shot from his blue paint.
No, because it's still a penalty shot. It counts. Like it counts to a guy's goal total. Like you can't take that away.
But
from
this
Ryan
whole thing
McLeod.
is fucking stupid. This idea it doesn't make sense to begin with. So you might as well.
It makes a lot of sense.
Easy, Sean.
Not really.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's no point in realistically
like
having.
that.
Maybe
I'm trying to make it more
job
fun.
explaining it, but this is bulletproof.
I would rather have goalies scoring goals than a pointless empty netter.
I do want to circle back on what you said about how players typically would probably be gentlemanly, go up and kind of pass it into the net. This is why when the first time it happens, it needs to happen with Trevor Zegras. Lead us, King.
Michigan into the empty net.
Michigan into the empty net.
They say like no goal because he went past the red line. So.
Right. So you, as I said with McLeod, you gotta waive that. When it's empty net, hey, it's your playground. The only thing is
free skate.
You need to get it into the net, and you can't flub it on the. You got to pick it up cleanly. If you do a Brad Marchand endearing, you're toast. You're out of the game too.
Or alternatively, because there were 6 guys on the ice, you just make the 6th skater the goalie. He's got to stay in the blue paint, and you can do whatever he wants, but he's got to stay in the blue paint. And
what about
Alex
team on empty net?
That would be having Alex DeBrincat on your team would be a massive advantage.
Yeah,
because he plays goalie against Patrick Kane after practice in his regular equipment. So
someone says, imagine an empty net penalty shot to determine playoff seeding in game 82. You know the people are going to be replaying this for years. Do you want to do it like a coward, pass it into the net, or do you want to give people a little bit of pizzazz?
I would shit my pants at being in that situation.
I mean, I think I'm going right to the top of the blue paint and just taking the hardest slap shot I've ever taken in my entire life.
That would be incredible. Or just like a slapper from the blue line. Like, don't even carry it into the zone. Just let her rip as soon as you get it.
You're risking missing the goal.
Oh, yeah, but you look like a fucking legend.
I like going to like the hash marks, doing like a almost pre-free throw thing. Kind of like look up to God, do some sort of like ceremonious, like give me the strength to do this right, and then just blast it to hell.
Or a guy
imagine Leon from his office just skates it right to the goal line and fires it in from the sharpest angle.
Guys going to their office to score empty net goals would be hilarious.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, I just want to see a guy pick up a lot of speed, and then by the time he gets to the face-off dots, just let the puck go. Just like let it glide and skate away before he even scores the goal.
Oh, like the Kucherov, the fake like move and just lets it slide in and then heads back to the bench.
Yeah, just gone before he even scores.
I mean, there's so many awesome possibilities here.
Honestly, Zach Hyman kind of did that accidentally last night on his goal. And granted, I was watching on the choppiest streaming thing in the world. Don't cut the cords, kid.
Skill issue.
Yes, maybe, but it was such a way more miserable experience than I could have even guessed. But I believe, if I saw it correctly, Hyman was trying to like maybe do a little dipsy doodle thing, and Freddie Gaudreau just guided it into the net 5-hole for him. I believe that was a Freddie thing.
Well, I mean, that's Zach Hyman's fault for trying to get fancy in the first place.
That's
know
right.
yourself.
Know your role.
Last note on the goal last night. A sneaky funny part of that is that after the slash from Burns, both players crashed so hard into objects. McLeod went into the boards and Brent Burns went into the net. All of it was so fucking funny. All of the context, all of like the actual physical humor and the results. And
it was like a really good game from the Buffalo Sabres. Yep. And like I also said 2 minutes prior to that, I thought the Sabres would have sworn the Sabres were losing that game.
100%.
So it was like there were stakes there in that moment. It was obviously late, but like at the end of the game, there was like shit going on.
Great night of hockey. The late game was really good too. Edmonton and Minnesota. Minnesota real banged up. You hate to see Faber and Kaprizov out of that game. They put up a good fight. I was impressed with the Wild. Need them to get healthy. They're a good team. Oilers just kind of rock right now, man. They're so good. And you got McDavid the Goon.
Oh, brother.
What?
5 games minimum.
What?
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
To do a second of hit chat, he absolutely did that shit. But it's rare that I see a player get chicken winged and my respect level drops only for the victim.
Yeah, I mean, I saw
Marcus Johansson, brother.
I saw a bunch of tweets. Marcus Johansson 5 games for getting in Connor McDavid's way.
I mean, I know I was doing some like dragging and freeze framing and everything. Like, holy God, I am all for embellishing. I champion embellishing. That was some sucky ass embellishing.
I don't know. Marcus Johansson famously has like a kind of a weak chin.
Yes,
he's a little fragile. I was obviously a chicken wing to the head. Like that should have been an elbow. If it's anybody else, might be a suspension.
Be better at hockey,
He's
everybody
probably
else.
just going to get a fine.
Which is why you got to embellish, because I think if anybody's not watching that closely, they're like,
yeah.
come on, man. Connor
And
McDavid didn't do that.
Ultimately, though, my takeaway is that it doesn't matter when you score a cool-ass goal like 10 minutes later. McDavid scored an absolutely rocking goal, and you can hit somebody with your car. And if you score that kind of goal, you get to get away with it.
I famously don't do hit chat, but I wanted to quote tweet people talking about it with like, are we acting like this is even in the top 700 disrespectful things Connor McDavid has done to NHL players?
I would rather get elbowed in the face and get completely undressed like 3 times in 5 seconds by Connor McDavid as he's done in the past. And also, I think at that price point, he gets to hit. You're Connor McDavid. Elbow people in the face if you want.
Everyone, like I said, everybody else, be better.
Yeah.
You get away with shit. Like
when you're the greatest of all time. You
Brad
get to do
Marchand
stuff.
could be suspended more times than he's been suspended.
There will be no fine. 27 minutes ago, there will be no fine on Connor McDavid elbowing Marcus Johansson.
I mean, that's like a little ridiculous. There should definitely be a punishment for that.
Something. And is Johansson still hurt? He didn't return to the game. If he has a concussion, it's significantly less funny.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that was like a blatant dirty play. It's like ultimately not that big of a deal, I don't think. But like, you probably should punish Connor McDavid to a certain
at
extent.
least fine him.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, his goal, as Pete said, way more problematic
Well,
for the earth.
Especially if like that's why I think you got to punish him even more. You can't. You don't get to let him elbow a guy and then also do that.
That's true. It does change the game that they stay in the game to impact the game away Connor McDavid would.
If Matt Rempe does that, that is legitimately, I think, 10 games.
But man,
yeah, but that's because
I mean, there's obviously like a track record there, but still.
Did anybody think at 2-0 Wild, the Wild were going to win that game?
No.
I hate how boringly resigned I am to the result. Like the Penguins game last week, I was like,
I thought the Wild's
going weird here. I think the Penguins actually might win this game.
I thought the Wild could have won that game, but I there was no doubt in my mind that the Oilers were going to come back and make it interesting.
You know who's good right now? Nuge.
Yeah.
When you get to have, man, some of the people that they get to have be like their 4th and 5th game best players, incredible. We did not hit on, by the way, we spent like 25 minutes on the shootout thing or the penalty shot thing, and I feel good about that.
Oh, yeah.
We did not get to the Penguins yesterday waiving Tristan Jarry. And
we mentioned it.
What's that? Did we?
Mentioned it,
we did a little bit, not a lot.
Because I read out the Jay Fresh stat about how he's only gotten to 6 shots without giving up a goal.
Yeah.
Yes,
6
correct.
times out of the 22 games that he's played.
Where is my mind? Tristan Jarry waived in the second year of a 5-year deal with a $5.35 million cap hit, signed by Kyle Dubas 2023 offseason, which was the first of him running the show with the Penguins. Just wanted to note, per Adam Gretz, everything that he did last offseason got the Penguins not necessarily to where they are now, but just has not helped at all. Tristan Jarry contract, we all knew was going to be bad. Waived. Ryan Graves, 6 years, $27 million. Is that, I mean, $27 million isn't a ton of money, but is that
It's too much money for like a third pairing guy.
I was going to say, is that a guy who's playing in your top 4? No. Is that a guy who's playing? Not always. So bad job there. Riley Smith trade, I don't really care about because that guy kind of floats around the league and is generally good for a little bit, and then you get rid of him. That's the Penguins have done. But by and large, when he came in, he did not make the positive stamp that the Penguins needed.
Riley Smith?
No, I'm sorry, Kyle Dubas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Carlson thing, too, is like, we talked about it basically right after it happened, where, like, what does Carlson do for the Penguins? I would have much rather seen him go to a different team where he can be Erik Karlsson and be a needed addition and like a needed element to a team. But like the Penguins didn't need Erik Karlsson. And obviously the returns on that haven't been what they expected them to be. And so there's just like a lot of moves that Dubas missed early on trying to reopen that Penguins window.
Do you agree with the waiving and going with Nedeljkovic and what's my guy's name? The young guy who's awesome, who I think is going to be a stud.
Joel Blomqvist?
Yes.
Blomqvist?
That's my guy. I love it.
Your attachment to like goalies that don't matter are the best.
Yeah. So you're getting the Merzlikins jersey? Speaking of, Sean,
I
matters.
might, but I also am doing it only because I think it's hilarious.
if this set has a Seth Jones Winter Classic jersey and an Elvis Merzlikins Blue Jackets jersey that we actually paid for, I'll be so proud of what this little thing has become.
Yes, 100%. On the Dubas thing, he was handed a not so amazing like slate or canvas to work with. He hasn't helped. The Jari thing is unforgivable. It was always unforgivable. No excuse for that. Otherwise, though, it's like I don't look at this. I say Dubas hasn't solved anything, but he didn't like ruin anything either.
Yeah.
Just a funny thing, I saw Sarah Siv quote tweet this yesterday from Josh Yo of the beat reporter, Penguins beat writer, said that, quote, from what I'm hearing, the Penguins organization has reached a breaking point with Tristan Jarry. And as Sarah Siv pointed out, it's hilarious because it's like not even bad, not even like he's just so bad. It's just like a psychological breaking point that they reached with this guy.
I believe
it was so
it.
bad they just got to just fucking get rid of him.
If you're giving up that many goals early on in games, that is a psychological breaking point.
Yeah.
My question though to this is like, has the shine officially worn off on Dubas?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I think that there are always GMs like this where like the kind of genius thing is applied to the young GM. And I think that that's the NHL being such an old boys club that anybody who finds their way into it is kind of viewed by fans as a savior. And if they're just a guy, which I think so far in his career, Kyle Dubas is like just a GM.
Has done a lot of smart things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
good and
Yeah,
bad.
I mean,
Like
I would push
want him
back
in my
on that a
front
little
office.
bit.
I would want him in my front office, but I don't know if I would want him running the show at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he left Toronto as kind of like having like a little bit of like a wonderkid vibe. Like he was just like a young guy who got it. And I mean, obviously, and I think he got a little bit of a leeway because Toronto is Toronto and it doesn't like nobody can fix that.
yeah.
Even though he signed, which like I don't think is true, but I think he got a little break. But I mean, clearly now. And
He also did a lot of good things in Toronto.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah.
And like Pittsburgh getting him was like considered a huge win for Pittsburgh.
That's kind of my point is that I think leaving Toronto, even if there were reasons to look at what he did in Toronto and be like, he didn't do that great of a job. I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying. And like getting to Pittsburgh, like he definitely had like a vibe to him where it's like this guy is kind of the future of front offices in the NHL.
Yeah. I mean, I think that he was supposed to be the like NHL's Theo Epstein. Where it's not another in the line of retreads and they kind of think their own way, but they have they're able to show their work a little bit. But even Theo Epstein lusted after Julio Lugo when everybody was like, don't sign him, he sucks. And he was like, no, I love this guy. So I'll say that with the Wonder Kid, what is it, Wunderkind?
Wonderkind.
Yeah, Wonderkind is how we say. I thought that you'd be able to do it right.
I mean, Wunderkind.
Wunderkind? Yeah.
I think would be how
But
you
like with like the Wunderkind thing, like those guys have their weird, why do you like that guy? So I'll say that he looks like just the GM to this point, but I don't think he's necessarily like a bad GM. He's just a guy.
Chat's making good points. I think Eric Tulsky has replaced Dubas as like the Wunderkind of today, which we'll see. Tulsky's got some time to figure out who he is as a GM, but he is like actually a literal genius, though. Could be doing any job in the world and chooses to run a hockey team.
He's front office Bob Stauffer.
I also think he's in a much better position than what Dubas walked into in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but Dubas had a good situation in Toronto. And
I mean, they obviously like that is whatever. But I'm just saying where they are right now. I don't think Pittsburgh was ever a great situation to walk into.
We'll do this another time, but we should come up with like least desirable jobs between coaching and GMing throughout the league, because I would so not want to be the Pittsburgh Penguins GM.
Oh, absolutely not.
All right,
I would take like a year or two off.
You're tethered to the whole Crosby lore.
That's the thing. And you ultimately are going to have to be the guy that either runs Sidney Crosby into runs that organization into the ground or trades away Sidney Crosby. and neither of those are ideal situations to be in.
Yeah, so a little. I hope that nothing that I said sounded like I was like Kyle Dubas sucks. I just think that so far in his career he's been fine, and he is in a very bad spot. So I really don't know what we should be expecting from him. You could have just not signed Tristan Jarry, but good GMs do bad things. So that's that. Sean, do we have 13 games tonight? 12, 13?
We 13.
13? Let's get to a slate grade.
Boy, it's a good one, baby.
There are some
This is
bangers
busy.
here. I'll just say it right now. 9:30 p.m. on ESPN has me turned up. Turned up.
Horny.
Yes, sir.
And not to get too far ahead of ourselves, the game after that one is also extremely great for my taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody needs me this evening, assuming I can see it, don't fucking need me, please. It'll kick off at 7 p.m. when the Maple Leafs host the Devils at 7 in a
Sheldon Keefe revenge game.
Sheldon Keefe revenge game. I was going to say a David Clarkson bowl, but Pete, yours is way better. 7 p.m. the Capitals will visit the Senators in a Sergei Gonchar bowl. Then you got the Ducks at the Lightning. That, of course, is a Corey Perry bowl. Red Wings at Panthers, a Vladimir Tarasenko game. At 7 p.m. the Sharks will visit the Blue Jackets in an Anthony Duclair bowl. A Jody Shelley bowl. That's my favorite one. Jody Shelley there. How about that? Flyers at the Islanders. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. A Ron Hextall bowl, of course, and a John Van Beesbrook bowl.
Your favorite.
A lot of John Van Beesbrook bowls. Yeah, my liked him as a player.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of the other stuff.
Oh yeah, I would hope not.
Just but he was like the precursor as a player. He was the precursor to Pyotr Kochetkov.
Mm-hmm.
That guy absolutely wanted the ball. Flames at the Blues at 8 p.m. What?
That's a Jay Bouwmeester bowl.
Oh, I love doing Jay Bouwmeester bowls. Yeah, great job. Damn. Flames at Blues, Al McInnes, Brett Hull. Blackhawks at Predators at 8 p.m. That is a Seth Jones bowl. That's a good Seth Jones bowl.
It's a Seth Jones. Yeah, it's a bowl, not a. Is it a bowl or a
No,
game?
because he was.
Bowl, yeah.
Wait, right?
Yeah, because he played for the Blue Jackets before Chicago.
Right. Drafted drafted by the Preds. Traded to the Blue Jackets for
Ryan Johansson.
Yes. Yeah. Canadians at Stars. That is at 8 p.m. That's a Steve Bejin bowl.
It's also a Corey Perry bowl.
It's a Corey Perry bowl. It's a Pierre Turgeon bowl. Kraken at the Jets at 8 p.m. It's a Carson Coolman bowl. And it's a Brandon Tanev bowl.
I don't like that we both laughed at the Carson.
What's your
Coolman
problem?
bowl. That's the most disrespectful thing you can do during a slate grade is just laugh when you call something a bowl.
Rangers at the Hockey Club at 9 p.m. Sean, I'm pretty sure we got nothing there.
I was going to say, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
I don't think we have anything.
I mean, I can number. From
Yeah, effort that while I get to the Oilers playing a back-to-back
banger
at the Avalanche, 9:30 p.m. That, boys, what's your favorite one there of the options for Oilers at Avalanche bowl options? Because it's clearly a Tyson Berry bowl.
Yep.
I really like it being a Calvin Pickard bowl.
Calvin Pickard bowl is good. Also, I don't know if did you hear Connor McDavid?
He said Picard.
Picard.
Yeah.
He said Calvin Picard. I didn't say bowl. I thought I was going to say Calvin Picard bowl.
Not yet.
No, he called him Calvin Picard. And I was like, does Connor McDavid just not know the names of his teammates?
that kind of rocks.
That would be a cool development.
That's huge, big poppy energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I hope I saw a clip of Witt and Keith Yandel talking about how locker rooms have kind of changed since when they played, and there were like teams where everyone's friends, everyone knows each other, everyone goes out to dinner, and then nowadays like people are reading comments on their phones, and it's harder for everybody to connect. And when I saw him say Picard, I saw that clip like right after. I was like, oh no, does Connor McDavid not talk to his teammates? Which, like, if he doesn't, you're allowed to do that.
To be fair, I mean, in a hockey locker room, how often are they calling like he probably just calls them picks?
Picks, picky, some weird shit like
I
that.
mean, his hockey reference nickname is Picks.
Okay.
But like, genuinely, how many times has he said or really heard his full last name pronounced? Because it's probably not as much as you might think.
I bet Connor McDavid watches back a lot of Oilers games and Oilers tape. Then you would hear his name.
But I doubt he does not strike me as a guy that leaves the commentary out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he mutes that
respectfully.
shit.
Even with Jack though, on
I was
gonna
gonna
say
say,
if it
like,
was like some bozo, but like
No, I don't think Connor is wasting time with somebody, respectfully to all of those people, worse at hockey and knows less about hockey than he does.
so he is
Talk it.
scrubbing through the intermission, which is Gene Principe and his wife.
I mean,
and
also,
he's like, no.
he's not just turning on ESPN Plus, or I guess in his situation, sports. Like he's definitely
Also,
just getting film from the team.
Listen, no. There's no excuse because like Calvin Pickard would be introduced over the PA.
Yes.
Okay,
during
but
games.
Connor McDavid's not listening to that. Connor McDavid, I think, also strikes me as a guy that he gets on the ice and is locked the fuck in. He's
There's
not
no.
listening.
You got to know your teammates' names.
Did you hear did you see his TNT post-game interview? Anson Carter said, "Hey, it's Ace here. Happy belated birthday. You seem like the guy who has everything. What would I get you if I were shopping for a gift for you?" And he was just like, "I think you know what I want. Yeah, I think you know what everyone in this room wants. What's your next,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Respectfully, Ace. Next question.
Fuck yourself. I want to win the Stanley Cup."
Like
that is
he
like
actually did the. He answered it like very like
cavalier or cutesy.
little mysteriously,
Yeah.
and then as they were going on to the next question, he said, "I want the Stanley Cup. You happy now? You get your answer." He did that whole thing.
Yeah, and also when they asked him, on Johnny thing, Johnny Laz did a fun little lap with him and asked him how he felt about no-show socks. And McDavid, none of this was Laz's fault. Laz did great, but he was like, "When I go to the rink, I'm going to play hockey. I don't care what I'm wearing. I'm not thinking about what I'm wearing. I'm going to play hockey." What a freak he is. I love him.
That's what I'm saying. There's no shot he's ever really registered Calvin Picard's full name.
Pickard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now we're
full name pronounced. But as also Stacey Faye pointed out, if you're just calling him Picks all the time, it's kind of like a Barca thing where like if you're just reading or saying the first part, you might think it's pronounced differently than when you say the whole thing.
Now
I
we've
love
gone
slate grades.
We've gone through most of these. Yeah, it's good. We've gone through most of these, but there's still one more game left. The nightcap is the Kings at the Canucks at 10 p.m. in an Anson Carter Bowl, famously, a Derek Forbort Bowl, an Alexander Edler Bowl.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's some more, but those are the ones that come to mind.
For the record, I number crunched. There have been no New York Rangers to play for the Utah Hockey Club.
Wow.
Great work, Sean. Emphasis on 8. Emphasis on A. This
Also,
is an A.
I don't think we pointed out that the Oilers-Avs game is on ESPN.
A-.
So no Sportsnet crew. And also, these are ESPN games, not ESPN Plus games. So I believe you need an ESPN subscription, not just an ESPN Plus subscription.
I do have,
or Fubo, or
but I
that
think
kind of
that
stuff.
I think I've put on ESPN games on ESPN Plus. I could be wrong about that.
Most of the time, the games that are on ESPN are also ESPN Plus games. This one is strictly ESPN. So I'm almost positive it's like football games when they're on just ESPN. You need an ESPN subscription unless they have an ESPN Plus.
That does mean we might get a Ray Ferraro game.
I like that. I'll take that at least.
Mm-hmm. So this is an A, especially because it's finishing with a late night Vancouver Canucks game. That is going to be quite a bit of fun.
Yeah,
I'm very excited for hockey tonight. This
Hold
is
all
an
of our calls.
incredible slate.
Yeah, I've been watching a show called Severance, and I'm going to, as soon as the show ends, I need to watch Severance until hockey begins because at 7 p.m. I'm doing that hockey. Chance the Rapper, Brady Shea.
I also Sharks Blue Jackets at 7 is a big like. If you told me that I would have any interest in watching that at all before this season, I would think you were crazy.
I am respectfully
A 7 p.m. Sharks game is crazy.
I'm respectfully out on that game. I'm probably going to be doing some Red Wings Panthers, Devils Maple Leafs,
Capital
maybe some
Senators.
Cap
Yeah,
Sens.
I mean it's definitely like
Canadian Stars, the hot Montreal Canadiens. Oh yeah,
maybe the two best teams in each conference.
These are. Can we just look for a bad game here? Let's see. Devils, Maple Leafs,
Kraken
really good.
Jets.
I mean,
the
Flyers,
8 p.m.
Islanders.
Yeah. Yes.
Come on.
Kraken, Jets, and Rangers, Utah Hockey Club. Sorry, no interest.
Blackhawks, Predators is bad. I hate to say it. It's bad.
Definitely bad.
Yeah. For
There's
Flames
definitely
Blues
more
is
good
good.
games.
Flyers, Islanders, respectfully, I'm not even returning that. I'm throwing that straight in the trash because it's not worth my effort to try to return it.
I mean, you didn't pay for that much for it in the first place, definitely.
So.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a few sinkers, but man, what a night.
They are outweighed by the bangers for sure.
All right, my friends, thank you very much for watching this program. Make sure you are subscribed. Hit that button everywhere. And Pete, what else can they hit?
You can also hit the like button. That's the thumbs up button right below the video player. Please hammer that, and we'll call it a like spike. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in this week, who's commented, who's hit the socials.
Good comments this week.
We had some pretty funny comments this week. So hit the YouTubes. You'll find daily updates with like show clips, things like that. Hit the podcast feeds to follow and rate 5 stars. All of that stuff really helps us out and gets our numbers up, gets our profile up a little bit, and helps us keep climbing. And soon there will be a squirrel costume, so stay tuned for that. We will see you next week, baby. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.